get in this. Right and shine. Boom, baby, boom. That's a shine right there. That's that shine right there. We are all this close to rising, and we're all this close to shining. And the sun keeps rising, still rising, no matter what happens in our lives. The sun's going to keep shining on all of us equally. Somewhere down there is the Las Vegas Strip. Somewhere in here is a pimp over a simp. Somebody that figures it out. Someone that finds a way. That's what it takes, man. It takes that early rise. It takes some of that gym time. It takes it finding it in ourselves. You know, I don't always have the answers. You know, I said that in the episode before. So I seek the answers, you know. It's not given to me, it's learned. You know, if I've learned some bad behavior, you know, I'm going to have to unlearn it. And one of the ways that I still rise is by learning new patterns. You know, look at that. Printing out, baby. Get some. Someone doesn't mind screenshotting your boy. I'd appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I appreciate getting up, man. I really do. I appreciate over grinding. It's not easy. We get into our lives and we start to fuck it up, right? Like we can fuck up our own blessings and start stressing. I was looking at 21 ways to kill your toxic ego this morning, and it was saying things like the balance of life of finding purpose over passion. I've always been so passionate, you know. I was like, this is my juice, this is my flow, you know, this is the stuff that gets me on the go. And then there's always the ego. You know, I quit smoking weed and buying weed and sourcing it and smoking it during the show or running to it. I was giving up on all the things that I use to escape life. You know, I wanted to really live life. You know, I don't like to avoid it. I want to live it with a purpose, you know, and a plan. I don't just like it go from happenstance. You know, a lot of people are in that, well, I'm just going to get more money and I'm just going to get in shape and I'm just going to do the things that are competitive instead of internal, not eternal. But the eternal stuff was like choosing love. You know, they say choose love. And you're like, yeah, sure, let me just do that. Let me just choose love and don't live in your mind. And you're like, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just not live in my mind and not, you know, be up there. And then choose that purpose, that a passion. Sure. I'll just do those things. And it's just like, man, my ego wins so often. It's not even funny. Because if I would have given up my control or my belief of control, right? The delusion of control, I would have chosen love, right? I would have chosen a different way. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to me. I do have control issues, right? Like, I put effort into things so I can see them grow. I am outcome oriented instead of just the task at hand. Like, the touchdowns matter to me. Like, I'd love to sit here and say that a saint is superhuman, right? You know, look at that. Boom, baby, boom, shining. The sun rises. Saints brand, baby. Is that not the commercial? And I'm not the poster child for being saint. You know, I inherited the last name. I also inherited the narcissism. I also inherited the abuse. I also inherited the mouth. The mouth gets me brave enough to do these kind of things, these kind of shows, show off the shine, but it also gets my ass in trouble from time to time. I've pushed people away, I've done both things, is why I'm having this conversation this morning, is this duality. The duality of life is not as easy as snapping our fingers and saying, hey, I just want to rise. That's all I care about. Just make me rise. And without effort, without concentration, I'm just supposed to give up my control, give up my passion, and choose love. Get out of your mind. And I find that's like shit advice, Get out of your mind. How are we supposed to get out of our minds when we are the ones that live up here the most? No one else is like all up in our heads with us. You know what I'm saying? Straight up in my face. No, you're in there being competitive with yourself, driving yourself, making yourself do things, willing yourself, will it. And you consciously put your passion out front. Someone has to have some kind of passion that drives their purpose. I believe, I believe I do choose love. And then sometimes I'll be pissed and choose my ego, or choose control, like they were talking about. So easier said than done. I don't pretend to, like I said, have all the answers, or that it's that easy for me to do something. No, it takes concentration, a concentrated effort for us to arrive into our lives. The sun's going to rise regardless of our emotional status, our relationship status, regardless of what we do in our lives. It's going to rise. And I was like, not for nothing, I want to meet the sunrise. I want to meet my shine. I want to see the things that make me internally happy and eternally happy, like for forevers. And would it always be so easy to choose love? Yeah, unless the other person's not choosing love. Like, what I mean? Like, everybody likes to say things. It was like, how do you do it? You're like, you got to give me these weird little old man, and Asian old man with the white beard, prophetic speeches and mystery answers that don't even make no sense. And it's like, dude, can you just give me the short version of it? And the short version I'm saying is, it's still rising. That's what universal about this universe and our planet, regardless of us, this little speck of dust, it's like, it's still gonna keep coming up, and it's still gonna keep giving us that energy. And do we respond in kind? Do we give ourselves over to other energies and say, oh, you know what? Well, my ego said, or my ex said, or my life said, or my money said. Like, this fucking thing doesn't know if it's rising on Alexander the Great or Marquis Saint. It doesn't give a shit about our stories, honestly. It just blows all of it in time away. And I mean, the Egyptians tried their best to build. So I see them build construction over here. There's some cranes here. There's some more cranes over here. It doesn't give a shit about what we're building. Have you seen the great Egyptians? It's literally been moved away. It's literally been chipped away at life. Oh, there you go. Get yourself a big rig, bro. It's literally said, life don't give a shit. It keeps going. And I think the best thing I can tell somebody is to exist in the now, right? To be able to say, hey, I'm going to capture some of this energy today. I'm going to get and do something with today. It's another new day. Yesterday is in the past, and I've already tried to shape it. I try to beat out each day. You know what I mean? Like, what did I do? Well, did you get the gym in? Yeah, I did. I can feel it. Boom, flex on them. And that's that shine. That's us. And we want to focus on it. Now, about my perfect human being, nowhere damn near. Not even close. And that's why I had to do this morning and said, hey, man, keep rising. Keep shining. It's not easy, but this one's going to make it easy. This one's going to do it without you, with the rain or shine. The sun's going to keep coming up on time. You might not even see it. If it was a cloudy day, you wouldn't see the sun bask over the horizon. It would just fade away. But it's still there. Even on the other side of the planet, even when it's at its darkest, it's still there. So someone's always getting the light, you know? And someone's always getting the cold and the other side. It's our balance. This is what makes us. Yeah, bro, rise and shine, man. I'm sure this thing's already clocked you in New Zealand, bro. It's doing it even to us all. So it's so important that we not take it so personally. No, that's so easy. Don't live in your head. Don't take things personally. Live in love. You're like, dude, you're sounding like a goddamn fucking spiritual mantra. But do they practice it? You know? Do you be able to sit there and find love in the hard situations? To find light in the darkness? This is the dichotomy of it all. I call it Saint's Addiction for a reason. It was like, how am I going to have the last name Saint and have so many addictions and be so valuable and be so fickle and in any moment, like, be so gentle and then be such a destroyer? I don't know. I mean, I think that's all of us. I think that's what we are. We are this balance, we are the balance between day and night, darkness and light. We are the exact same things. We're so easy to say cliches and say, hey, choose love. You're like, well, love myself, love you, love the world. I love my life. Here we are. I made a shirt. Sometimes I don't love my life. That sometimes it fucking wants to be dark on me. And sometimes my passion takes over my purpose. A lot of people say, choose your passion over paycheck. I believe that. But then it said, choose purpose over passion. I said, ain't they the same thing? So I question it all. The darkness and the light. I don't just give it a free hall pass. No, it's got to be explained. And the sun needs no explanation. That bad boy is almost an hour up. I woke up this morning early, caught it, watched it, hit the thing, and now it's getting there. It's gonna get there regardless if we figure it out or not. So it's only us living in the now that matters. It's like, what are we gonna do? That's all I keep asking is, what are we gonna do with our bad selves, and our lives? And that's so important that we use the day, seize the day, right? Carpe diem. That's all they're talking about. If you are lucky enough to be a creature on this planet, whether it's an insect or a plant, you're in it game. And it's such a blessed game to be alive. It feels real, and that's about the only thing in a world that's so digital and so fickle. This one's the real one. Time waits for no man or woman. The tide waits for no man or woman. That's exactly it. But it's just like, are we living in it? Or are we just cycling with it? And that's the question I just started to examine. I'm like, are we in this thing with a passion and a purpose? Are we driven for something? Or are we just experiencing it and just doing laps? I don't want to get lapped. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be lapped. I want to be right there at the front, winner line, getting to the finish line, doing something with my time. And that's all I'm saying. It's gonna keep ticking, but are we gonna keep living? And that's the biggest question of self-examination I can think of. It's just like, okay, man, hey, you're born up. What are you gonna do with this glow up? Are you gonna grow up? Are you gonna just fold and run and hide and what are we doing? Escape. And there's no escaping the planet. First of all, there's no planet B, so no one's gonna run away from anything. And two, you're here now. That's it. Like, there's no other things about it. I mean, I guess we wish that we weren't, but then we are. And then you're here, this speck of dust on this dust. It just so happens to be intelligent enough to determine some of their realities. So am I control of my full future? No. I've had a lot of things happen that either from my decisions didn't realize it was from my decisions, or from my efforts and they didn't pan out. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that I do my best while the sun is alive. Up and at 'em is what they say. Cut the corn while it's high. And that's something that I think all of us can do, is just start to live while we're alive. And I don't know if you're going to live in purpose. I don't know if you're going to live in fear. I don't know if you're going to live in your head. I don't know if you're going to live in the past. All those things are measured by yourself. There's not exactly like there's God with a measuring stick and go, you need to do more laps. In essence, if you're waking up, that is it, right? This purpose, this life. I don't know if you want to call it God. I don't know if you want to call it universe, but it's still up. It's still flying. You know what I'm saying? It's still living before you're dying. And that's the whole message I give in the morning marijuana motivation or morning motivation. There's no marijuana on the show anymore. It's just to be alive, and do your best while you got this life. I mean, get up there with the sunrise. Get inside your body and make it alive. Give yourself a chance to be the best person you can be. And now we're all gonna be saintly. That's all I got from the saints to the brand. Your boy Saints talking about being a better human. And that's all we gotta do is just, the ghost, baby. Greatest humans of all time. Like, let's try to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the sand. But yeah, I'd like to be a better human every day. I'd like to be up with the rise, and I'd like to be a part of the shine. So for all those that got up this morning with me and made comments and watched, I appreciate you. I wish that I was a learned scholar and had all the answers and could just sit there again with my Asian beer. The meaning of life is, look at these things, they're badass. Can you see the plane? Yes, rising up, out on the streets, took my chances. All right. And as easy as it is to play 80s ballads and watch Rocky, that's so easy to push up and do the push-ups and chase chickens. But we got it in us to live our lives, and I think most of us are living through more than experiences. We're just like kind of self-indulging and self-escaping instead of challenging and accepting. And that's something I'm going to do today is I'm going to go rise up to the challenge, accept the challenge, and meet the challenge as I rise. And that's something I want you to do today. Go, what can you challenge yourself to make today different? What can you do to actually live it and not try to escape from it anymore? That's your morning motivation, is to get yourself up, say hello to the sunrise, and say, hey man, what you gonna do with this life? Ask the sun, like the Egyptians used to. Say, what are you gonna do with this life? Why are you shining on me right now? And what do you want me to do, Lord, or Amun-Ra, or God, or universe, or source, or purpose, or passion, or life? Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you go by, whatever makes you shine, tap into that and say, what are we going to do with this time? And I think that's the best question anybody could ask while you pet your big white beard and go, the meaning of life is living life now. I love my life. I've had a very blessed life, and I want to continue to keep it blessed. I want to continue to keep the shine, and I want you to rise up every time and say, yeah, I'm getting back up. Yeah, life's like punching you, and it'll punch you down, but it's not about getting knocked down. It's about getting back up. Isn't it, Rocky? Yeah, and it's not how many times you get punched, but how many times you get up after you've been punched. And that's your morning motivation. It's your boy Marky Saint. Saint's Addiction. On my heart from the start. And I'm going to start my day. And I'm going to start my life. And I hope you start yours too. Because this life is not promised. And it can change just like that. But as long as I'm up and there's some shine, I'm in the game right on time. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side. As soon as you like, share, and subscribe. And tell somebody else to get up and come live life with you, yo. Come on, wake up. Life is happening. And I want you to engage with it. Peace. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao. Beijos.